Salut, je suis J Cosmic, salut, and welcome to my video. Today I will be doing a Marvel Legends toy unboxing and review. If you have seen these before, welcome back. If not, I will be unboxing a Marvel Legends action figure and giving my thoughts on each figurine as well as a final score on each figurine I unbox. Now, with that said, there is a theme for this episode, that being, as indicated by my shirt here, X-Men. So the figurines I will be unboxing are Weapon X, Maximum Deadpool, X-Factor Strong Guy, Rogue and Gambit from X-Men 97, Gladiator, and Deathbird. With that introduction out of the way, let's get to the unboxing, starting with Weapon X. Now, when this figurine was announced, I thought to myself, was this necessary just because the Weapon X that was previously released I already owned? However, seeing this figurine in person, it was warranted a purchase. What I have noticed with the Wolverine figurines throughout the years is the claws have improved in quality. I don't have to worry about them snapping off, and we do have an alternate head. Another thing I do love is the fine hair details on the body as well. So we're just going to pop this out of the box here. Now this Weapon X figurine comes with an alternate head, as well as 4 spare hands, one being a closed fist, one being an open hand, and then open hands with claws coming out of them, which do work for Weapon X just because when he broke out of the facility, he was kind of in pain and kind of new to having claws, whereas the fists and the claws are standard and probably staying on the figurine. So we're going to pop him out of the box, or I guess out of the plastic, I should say. He wasn't really in a box. So here is Weapon X. Let's get to the accessories. So here is the spare head without the giant mechanical headpiece on. We're going to pop out the spare hands next. Oh God. So much tape. Here are the open hands with the claws. Here is the plain open hand and the plain fist, which will obviously go in the bin. So this is Weapon X. My overall thoughts on this figurine is it is really solid. It is better than the first one that was released. I did test the articulation, and the articulation on this is good. We got great movement in the waist as well as the chest, and he can T-pose beyond the regular standard T-pose, at least in my experience, although the cables do kind of restrict him a little bit, but that is part of the look. With this being an improvement on the original and just the quality overall, I am going to give Weapon X a 4.5 out of 5. It's not a perfect figurine by any means, but it is quality, and the fact that it's an improvement on the one that was previously released, you can't really fault this. So that is my justification for my rating. The next figurine I'm going to unbox is Maximum Deadpool from the Maximum series. So we did previously get Spider-Man already, which was a little difficult to find, but I did manage to get my hands on when I visited family this summer. One thing I will say about this already is the dupe that came with Toy Biz. I liked that one more than this one, but I am happy we at least have dupe. I don't like the look of the unmasked head, so I'm probably just going to keep the fully masked head on. However, we have a great amount of hands and weapons and overall props with this figurine, so I foresee the rating on this figurine being on the high end. So let's open the box. So this is Maximum Deadpool and dupe, and there is a back plastic panel as well, which contain all his hands. Obviously the fists are going in the bin because he has accessories to grip, and the other hands just feel more in character for him than just punching. We have a chimichanga, which is very in character, a stick of dynamite, which again, very fitting, 2 swords to go into his back holster, and just a ton of weapons. So we're going to pop these out in a timely manner. Cue the speed up. And I guess before I get to the speed up, if you see me making faces, please ignore that. I am going to get this figurine and accessories all out and talk about them, hopefully quickly. lot to unpackage there, but Maximum is in the title, and this is the Deadpool figurine. Now, before we get to Deadpool, I am going to do a quick little spotlight on Dupe, who his arms move, and I feel like that's all you really need for Dupe. I'm not really going to give him a grading just because he is technically an accessory, even if he is his own character, but it's cool that we got him. And now to Deadpool. Now, I love the articulation on this figurine, but that is expected, as well as the paint job. I am going to give Maximum Deadpool a 5 out of 5 as well, just because, again, the articulation on this is next level. The paint job is great. You got a huge number of accessories that come with him. I'm not a big Deadpool fan per se, but anybody who is, this is essential for your collection. And I do have a spot for this one, so yeah, Maximum Deadpool, 5 out of 5. The next figurine I am going to unbox is X Factor's Strong Guy. Now, when he was a Build-A-Figure a few years ago, I did buy the whole set and built Strong Guy previously, so this figurine wasn't really essential to me. However, I do feel like I have a spot for him somewhere at least, and I do love the giant barbell that comes with him. That was kind of my selling factor, not gonna lie. I feel like I could pair that not only with Guido, but with a She-Hulk, another Hulk. Yeah, sad to say that I bought the figurine for the accessory, but again, I do like X Factor, I do like Strong Guy, and I feel like he has a place for anybody who is collecting X Factor or is a fan of the X-Men, so let's unbox him. Also, with these figurines that I unbox, there's always a little paper slip that falls out, and I actually don't know what this is besides a nuisance. I'm sure it is actually important and has instructions of some sort, but yeah, just notice them always falling out when I open. So this is Strong Guy. As you notice, he has alternate hands, an alternate head, as well as the barbell. With the plates, let's pop him out of the package. So we're just going to take the plates out of the back here. I did calculate how much weight Guido is lifting, and it's at least 615 pounds. I could be wrong. We got 5, what looks like 45-pound plates, 135 and a 25. So he's maxed out here. Although it is interesting that there are actually men out there who could lift this type of weight. My favorite sport is Strong Guy competitions, so the fact that I have Strong Guy here is a shout out to that sport. So that's the plates, and here's the bar, which is bending. I have seen that happen in these Strong Guy competitions, which I think is really cool. Seeing feats of strength like that on real life humans is just way more impressive to me than like moving a ball, but that's just my opinion. And not discrediting them, but feats of strength, just really cool. Now the back half does have grippy hands, which him lifting that much weight with gloves, props to him, but he is a superhuman. Personally, I use chalk. And here is a thumbs up, a serious head, or I guess a neutral face, because on the actual figure, he is making a gritted, almost kind of intense face. And that is Strong Guy, so I do gotta say I'm impressed with the amount of accessories that he comes with. The articulation, of course, is not going to be its best because he is a bit of a thick boy, but can't really fault him for that because, again, look at the size of him. He's got some heft and weight to him. The paint job is nice. It's consistent. All the yellows are the same yellow. All the blues are the same blue. I love the metallic hue to it, like how it has kind of a shine. I appreciate that just because I feel like he would, or does canonically have kind of metal on his costume with the standard spandex / leather. All in all, my thoughts on this figurine, while I have built the Build-A-Figure, this is better quality than the Build-A-Figure Strong Guy, and I gotta give him let's give him a 4 out of 5, just because he isn't perfect, but I do love him. So Strong Guy, 4 out of 5. So the next figurine I'm going to unbox is Rogue and Gambit from X-Men 97, specifically the basketball scene in Season 1 that was placed in by Beau DeMaio. So we're just going to open the box here and slide them out. Now this is an homage to the actual comics and actually did happen. However, this is specifically from the cartoon. We do have the matte paint job on both of them, and while I am not a fan of Rogue and Gambit as a couple, I do see why they were packaged together because, I mean, duh. So we're gonna pop Rogue out of the plastic first, just because she is closest. Now, Rogue also comes with two hands. They're the kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like this type of hand, I guess the open hands, and she has fists on her body. I might swap out the fists for the open hands just because she is playing basketball and needs to steal the ball. She's not really punching anybody, but, you know, basketball does get physical. I am not a fan of the sport myself, but hey, to each their own. I like strong guy competitions. We're going to pop out the hands next. So here are the alternate hands. So this is X-Men 97 Rogue. I like her, but I don't love her. I think the best part of her is her head sculpt. I do think there are flaws on the body, that being the mismatched color with the ankle and the boots. And I'm not a fan of the fabric sweater, but I know some people like to replace the plastic with fabric. That is a personal choice. This Rogue figurine is okay. Despite its flaws, the head does kind of make up for the rest of it. I am going to give her a 3 out of 5 just because the head sculpt is gorgeous, but I do think there are issues with some of the joints. I am a little scared of snapping her arm if I bend it. But yeah, this is a decent figurine if you are a fan of Rogue and like to collect her figurines. I do find they sell out pretty quickly and go up in price online. Do I feel like Basketball Rogue is essential for any X-Men collection? Not necessarily. However, I am a completionist with the figurines a lot of the time, so she doesn't feel like a need. She's more of a want, which also affects my grading of her. And unless you're a fan of Rogue and Gambit, this just doesn't really feel essential for any collection. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Rogue. Next up, I am going to unbox Gambit, who also comes with two open hands, a pointing finger hand, I think the basketball is attached to that hand, and a neutral hand. Ball's definitely attached to the hand. I'm excited to see Gambit get some love, and the fact that it's shirtless Gambit. I do appreciate shirtless men because, you know, the job they did on this is just not very good. I do think the way it bends here just looks silly and takes away from the sculpt itself. And looking at the figurine, the shorts, it looks like he's wearing a diaper, and just, again, kind of takes away from the, not that I look at toys for sex appeal, but it does take away the sex appeal from the sex appeal of Gambit as a character, and I feel like this just kind of lowers the quality of the figurine overall. Honestly, this is probably one of my least favorite figurines of the year, which is disappointing because I think shirtless Gambit playing basketball could have been done well, but between the wacky, clicky torso and the diaper shorts, my face says it all. We're going to pop out the hands, but as you can imagine, so here's the plain open hands. Sorry, finishing my last thought. As you can imagine, my rating of this figurine is not going to be very high. If anything, it's probably going to be my lowest. Which is too bad, because I like seeing Gambit get some love. I like seeing him in costumes that aren't his standard pink one that's been re-released like how many times. But this was just a letdown overall. Now, if you're a Rogue and Gambit fan, again, this is essential, but as an X-Men fan, honestly, you could probably skip this. If it weren't for me being a completionist, I probably would have skipped this. The Gambit itself, this is just bad. I'm probably going to give this a 1 out of 5, which is my lowest rating overall. The articulation itself is fine, but aside from the head, the body is just not it. Like, whatever the opposite of a Butterface is, that's this Gambit. So that does give the Rogue and Gambit set, I guess, a score of 2 out of 5 overall, which is just contrasting with the next box set that I'm going to be opening, which is Deathbird and Gladiator, a box that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, specifically for Deathbird. The fact that she finally has a release, it took long enough, and I feel like they did a phenomenal job with her. And I do gotta say, while Gladiator was released previously, they actually improved on him, so I am not mad at that. Let's open the box for both of them. Deathbird has been a character I've wanted to see in Marvel Legends for a long time. So the fact that we finally got this and the quality it's at is just phenomenal. Now, she is probably going to be one of my figurines of the year, even though she has no accessories. I'm just looking at the quality alone, the paint job, the sculpt, the fact that she has a cape, but the cape doesn't affect her arm movement, or at least it looks like it doesn't, is just, this is how we need to do plastic capes moving forward. So let's pop her out of the packaging. Here is Deathbird, who looks delightfully evil and mischievous. She is the sister of Lilandra Nurami. I don't know how you say her name. But just the movement, the paint job. I'm going to say it right now. 5 out of 5. Probably one of my top figurines of 2025. Just, this is how you do a Marvel Legend, even without accessories. Just every detail is taken care of. The paint job, the different textures. I love her. She's one of my favorites this year. Now let's get to Gladiator. So Gladiator comes at the head where his eyes are powered up. He is kind of a knockoff of well, he is a direct knockoff of Superman, his name being Clark. And he comes with 2 fists, which honestly, Gladiator getting fists and him being a bit of a brawler just makes sense. He does have neutral hands on. Honestly, either could work for him. So we're going to pop him out of the packaging and take a look at him. Here are the fists. Here's his powered up head. Here is Gladiator out of the package. Now, the details on the costume and the body sculpt are just next level. We have great articulation and just overall paint job. There are no negatives with this figurine, honestly, and with the accessories, there's so much flexibility with him. I gotta give him a 5 out of 5 as well, which gives the box set a 5 out of 5 total. Even if Deathbird doesn't have accessories, both of them are top notch and highly recommended for any X-Men collector or anybody who likes collecting the cosmic characters. Overall, my pick of the week will be Deathbird and Gladiator. They are honestly top notch, great quality, no negatives. Could not recommend them enough. And the fact that that box set includes one of my figures of the year, it just says enough. Not to take away from Wolverine and Deadpool, I do enjoy those figurines as well, but Deathbird and Gladiator just take the cake for me. And Strong Guy is good as well. Whereas my flop of the week is going to be Rogue and Gambit. That box set is just not good. I do not recommend it. If you find it on clearance, great, but otherwise, unless you're a fan of them as a couple, it's just not good. Sorry, Hasbro. You flopped with that one. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing and toy review. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, as I am looking to make more content, and I appreciate the engagement. Another thing I appreciate is anyone who has signed up for my Patreon, specifically the Cosmic Defender and the Liftoff tier. So thanks again for supporting me on my Patreon as well as my channel. I do appreciate the engagement as well as appreciate just the support overall. It really means a lot that you like what I'm putting out there, and hope to see you in the next video. Thanks again for checking me out.